Have you ever stopped to think about how many times you wake up in the morning and feel like you're just repeating the same steps as the day before? As if you're stuck in an endless cycle of routine, without emotion, without purpose. What if I told you that while you live on autopilot, your true passions are being left behind, waiting to be rediscovered? Imagine reaching the end of a day, a week, or even years, and realizing that you haven't lived any moment that truly ignited that flame inside you, that the vibrant colors of life have faded because you chose to ignore what your heart has always desired. Today, we are going to dive into the depths of these unconscious choices. We will reveal the consequences of ignoring your passions and how this can affect not only your happiness, but also who you truly are. Because living on autopilot is not living, it's just existing. If you feel that something is missing, that there is a void that cannot be filled with the daily routine, then this is the moment to awaken. Join me on this journey of rediscovery and allow yourself to find the path to a full and passionate life. But how did we reach this point of disconnection with our passions? Often life puts us in a frantic pace. We wake up, work, fulfill our obligations, and at the end of the day, we are too exhausted to think about what truly makes us happy. Responsibilities pile up, and the little joys that once colored our days are forgotten somewhere in the past. Do you remember that activity that made your heart beat faster? The one that made time pass without you noticing? It might be that, over time, you have put these passions on the back burner, believing they were not important or that they could wait. But in the meantime, something inside you began to silence. And it is in this silence that we lose essential parts of who we are. We ignore the signs that our own body and mind send us, the lack of enthusiasm, the feeling of stagnation, the constant questioning of the meaning of it all. We continue moving forward as if we were on autopilot, programmed to keep us busy, but not fulfilled. But is this how we want to live? Are we willing to give up our deepest dreams and desires in exchange for a routine that does not satisfy us? Maybe it's time to stop and listen to that inner voice that has been ignored for so long. Because in the end, it is our passions that give meaning to our existence and make us truly alive. You might be wondering, how do I know if I'm ignoring my passions? Well, there are subtle and not so subtle signs that reveal this disconnection. Maybe you feel a constant restlessness, a sense that something is missing even when everything seems to be in order. It's as if there is a void that daily routines cannot fill. Have you noticed that moments of true joy are rare and fleeting? That activities that once brought you pleasure now seem like tasks? This lack of enthusiasm can be an indication that your true passions are being neglected. Sometimes we get lost in obligations and others' expectations, putting aside what really makes us feel alive. Another clue is in your recurring thoughts, those ideas that arise when you're distracted, daydreaming about projects, hobbies, or life changes that never materialize. These persistent desires are your mind's way of reminding you of what is important to you. And then there's emotional exhaustion, not just physical, but that exhaustion that comes from within, resulting from investing time and energy in activities that do not nourish your soul. Ignoring these sensations can lead to a state of apathy, where days pass without real meaning. Recognizing these signs is crucial. They are alerts that something needs to change, that it's time to re-evaluate your choices and reconnect with what truly matters. After all, life is too short to be lived without passion and purpose. Let's delve into the consequences that this disconnection from our passions can bring to our mental and emotional health. Imagine Danny's story. Every day she wakes up early, takes the same crowded bus, goes to a job that doesn't inspire her, and returns home feeling exhausted. One day during lunch, her co-worker asks, "Danny, are you okay? I've noticed you seem distant lately." Danny sighs and replies, "You know, sometimes I feel like I'm just existing, not living. I always dreamed of painting, but I never had the courage to follow that path. Now I feel like something is missing." Does this conversation sound familiar to you? Have you ever felt like Danny, stuck in a routine that doesn't nourish your soul? Share your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. Ignoring our passions doesn't just affect our momentary mood, it can lead to high levels of stress, anxiety, and even depression. The constant feeling of dissatisfaction can drain our energy and willingness to seek new experiences. And so day after day, we sink into a cycle that seems inescapable. But what if there was a way to reverse this? What if we could find that inner flame again and reignite our lives with purpose and joy? In the next few minutes, we will explore how recognizing and facing these challenges can completely transform our journey. But why is it so difficult to take the first step towards our passions? Often, fear presents itself as our biggest obstacle. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of others' judgment. It's as if an internal voice tells us that it's safer to stay in the comfort zone, even if it doesn't bring us happiness. Think about Lucas's case. Since he was a child, he had a passion for music. He dreamed of playing guitar in a band, but ended up pursuing a career he considered more secure and socially accepted. Every time he saw someone performing, he felt a mix of admiration and sadness. One night, talking with a friend, he vented, "Sometimes I wonder what my life would be like if I had followed my heart. But now it seems too late." His friend replied, "It's never too late, Lucas. What is really stopping you from trying?" And that's when we realize many of the barriers we face are created by ourselves. We build walls of insecurity that keep us away from what we truly desire. But are these fears real or just projections of our own doubts? I invite you to reflect. What fears have prevented you from pursuing your passions? Is the risk of trying not worth the possibility of a fuller and happier life? Leave your comment below. I want to know what you think about this. Remember, the first step is recognizing that fear exists, but that it doesn't have to control us. In the next moments, we will discover together how to face these fears and pave the way for a journey of self-discovery and personal fulfillment. But then, something unexpected happened that changed everything. Danny, on an apparently ordinary day, received a letter that took her by surprise. It was an invitation to the 10-year high school reunion. Reluctant, she decided to attend, driven by the curiosity to reconnect with old friends. During the event, Danny met Mariana, her best friend during adolescence, whom she hadn't seen in years. As they talked, Mariana commented, "Danny, I still remember your incredible paintings. You pursued a career in art, didn't you? I always believed you had a unique talent." Danny, with a melancholic smile, replied, "Actually, no. Life took other turns, and I ended up putting painting aside." Mariana looked into Danny's eyes and said, "That's a shame. You know, I'm organizing an exhibition of local artists and would love to include your works. It would be a perfect opportunity for you to take up that passion again." At that moment, something ignited inside Danny. A flame she thought had gone out. She felt a mix of excitement and fear. "I haven't painted in years. I don't know if I'm still good at it," she confessed. Mariana smiled encouragingly. "Talent like that doesn't disappear. Think about it carefully. It would be amazing to have you on board." Upon returning home, Danny couldn't stop thinking about the proposal. She decided to rummage through the attic in search of her old painting materials. Upon finding her canvases and brushes, she felt a wave of nostalgia and decided to take a chance. In the following days, she dived headfirst into painting. The colors, the shapes, everything flowed naturally. It was as if she had never stopped. and to her surprise, her works reflected a maturity and depth that didn't exist before. The turning point came when, on the night of the exhibition, one of her paintings caught the attention of a renowned gallery owner present at the event. He approached her and said, "Your work is exceptional. I would like to represent you and bring your works to an even larger audience." Dani couldn't believe it. Within weeks, she went from a monotonous routine to an opportunity that could change her life, all because she decided to give her old passion a chance. And you, have you ever experienced such a turnaround, a moment when an unexpected decision opened doors you never imagined? Share in the comments. Your story might inspire others. This experience showed Dani that sometimes all it takes is a small step out of the comfort zone for the universe to conspire in our favor. In the next segment, we will discuss how being open to these opportunities can transform not only our professional life, but also bring a renewed sense of purpose and happiness. With the gallery owner's proposal in hand, Dani found herself faced with a choice that could transform her life. The initial excitement quickly gave way to doubts and insecurities. Am I ready for this? What if I fail? She thought as she looked at her paintings scattered around the small makeshift studio in her living room. Seeking advice, she decided to call her older brother Felipe, who had always been her confidant. "Felipe, I don't know if I should accept. Everything is happening so fast, and I'm afraid I won't meet the expectations." Felipe responded calmly, "Dani, you've spent years putting your passions on the back burner. Now that life is giving you this opportunity, why hesitate? Fear is normal, but don't let it stop you from achieving your dreams." These words touched her deeply. Dani realized that the real obstacle was the fear of leaving the comfort zone. Determined, she accepted the gallery owner's proposal and threw herself into this new challenge. The following days were intense. She needed to balance her daily job with preparing for the exhibition. There were nights when she barely slept, dedicating every free moment to creating new works. The physical exhaustion was great, but the satisfaction of doing what she loved outweighed any difficulty. Throughout this journey, Dani faced external criticisms and doubts. Co-workers questioned her choice. "Are you really going to quit a stable job for something so uncertain?" But she stayed focused, fueled by the passion that had been dormant for so long. Finally, the day of the exhibition arrived. The hall was filled with people, and the atmosphere was one of admiration and curiosity. As she walked among the guests, Dani was approached by a lady who said, "Your paintings have a special soul. They touched me deeply." At that moment, she understood the impact her art could have on people's lives. She felt fulfilled in a way she had never experienced before. It wasn't just about professional success, but about human connection and authentic expression. And now I ask you, what dreams have you put aside out of fear or convenience? What could happen if you gave your passions a chance? Share in the comments. Your story might inspire others to take that step too. In the next few minutes, we will explore how to identify what truly drives us and how to turn that into concrete action. Because just as Dani discovered, it's never too late to follow what makes your heart beat. And so, Dani's journey teaches us a powerful lesson. It's never too late to rediscover your passions and allow them to transform your life. What began as an unexpected invitation to an exhibition became the turning point she so desperately needed. Dani, who once lived on autopilot, rediscovered the joy of creating, and by doing so, found a purpose that filled that void she had carried for so long. But remember, Dani's story is not a fairy tale where everything is magically resolved. It was a journey full of doubts, sleepless nights, and moments of uncertainty. She had to face the fears that held her back, the judgments of those who didn't understand her choice, and the weight of expectations. But above all, she had to trust herself. Trust that her passions were valuable and that pursuing them was a choice worth making. Now ask yourself, What are you waiting for to take the first step? Life often pushes us into comfortable routines, but is that what we really want? As Danny's story showed, living on autopilot may be safe, but it will never bring that deep fulfillment we all seek. If there's something you love, something that makes your heart beat faster, don't let it fall asleep. Maybe you don't need to abandon everything at once, but how about starting with a small step? Take your projects out of the drawer, dedicate some of your time to what makes you feel alive. Because just like Danny, you might discover that by giving your passions a chance, you are in fact giving yourself a chance. And now, before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. What passion have you been ignoring out of fear or comfort? Leave in the comments what your dormant dream is and what is preventing you from following it. Who knows? Your story could be the next to inspire others. If you enjoyed this video and Danny's story, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the upcoming videos. We are just beginning this journey together, and there is much more to come. Share this video with someone who needs a little push to rediscover their passions. And remember, you are capable of much more than you imagine. Let's go. See you in the next video.